Onjarama, Kadi Onjarama e Yiwitere Wunde e Hat Historian. In this video, I'll be talking about a traditional African hat worn by the Fulani people, the Tengade. The Tengade, sometimes also called Tingandé or simply Fulani hat, is a very distinctive cone-shaped hat made of straw or banana leaves, usually with leather accents reinforcing the edge and summit, as well as the leather chin strap, and is traditionally ornately decorated. Associated with the Fulani, an ethnic group around what is now Senegal, Mali, or Guinea, but that is now much more widespread, it has become a strong cultural element. The Fulani are an important West African ethnic group with between 25 and 40 million members spread over 15 countries. Forming a minority in the majority of these nations, they have traditionally been a nomadic people. According to their legends, this people was born of the union between Tajimau, a black princess, and Okba, an Arab, that are said to have had 4 children, ancestors of the 4 great Fulani clans. With no evidence for it, this legend is, according to experts, probably linked to a desire by clan chiefs to unite themselves to the Arab world after their Islamization. Their true origin is hard to pinpoint since, as nomads, they have cohabitated with many cultures in many different areas, adopting elements of each that they integrated to their own or assimilating into others. They are said to have been one of the first sub-Saharan people to convert to Islam, influenced by North Africans. This cultural mix and nomadism led to a rich culture and very elaborate dress traditions. One theory is that its current form dates back to the 19th century, with the Tukulur Empire that was established in what is now Mali. Large straw hats had been worn by nomad shepherds for the simple reason that they needed to protect themselves, and the cone shape was the easiest to make. What allowed it to establish itself was its adoption by Omar Tall, the founder and ruler of the Tukulur Empire. Born in what is now Senegal, towards the Tall was a member of a family of religious leaders and became a devout Muslim. In his youth, he made many journeys, including the Hajj, the pilgrimage to Mecca, and became a preacher when he returned, before starting jihad, a holy war to establish a theocratic regime. Seen as a saintly guy, they would make traditional cone hats that were elaborately decorated for him, which he wore during combats. The Fulani dignitaries that surrounded him would naturally imitate their sovereign, creating a fashion that trickled down to the people. These hats were intricately made, often reinforced with dyed goatskin, rendering them both more solid and more ornamental. That is one of the traditional explanations, but others maintain that it was developed in a subgroup of the Fulanis that, even to this day, is mostly made up of nomad herders. Traditionally watching over herds of zebus, a type of cattle, they developed many ways to protect themselves. While one saw them wearing hat styles that were more internationally conventional, the Wodabes have a long history of intricate craftsmanship and colorful dress. During ceremonies, particularly that of Gerewol, at the end of the rainy season, where young men gather to try and find a wife, they adorn themselves with loud patterned clothes, decorated with beads or feathers, and paint their face, showing their rich traditions, some of them predating their conversion to Islam. In this context, they took the simple conical hat and covered it in decorations, weaving patterns into the straw and adding leather from their herds, giving the current hat that they sometimes wear over a turban. These two theories are not contradictory, the Tengade probably coming from a confluence of practical concerns and decorative traditions, with this nomadic people engaging in abundant trade between its members and its neighbors. One of the issues of nomadism, as well as the fact that they're a minority in the majority of their countries, is that the knowledge about these practices come mostly from oral tradition unique to each tribe, with few historic certainties about the origin of this hat. Furthermore, and I say this often, traditional hats are generally the result of so many gradual evolutions, small traditions, and practical considerations that are not considered important enough to document that their origins are lost to the fogs of time, becoming almost legends. Whatever the case may be, one thing that is not in question is that the Tengade, or Tingandé, is still an essential element of Fulani culture and is still worn in many regions of Western Africa. While each hat is often unique, or at least slightly different, and there is no real standard model, there are characteristics that one can find in almost all of them. A typical Tengade is traditionally made with straw or banana leaves, or a mix of both, taking the shape of a cone with patterns woven into it. While it sometimes can resemble the Asian conical hat, there is no link between the two, and the resemblance is probably a simple coincidence. The straw cone is then lined with leather at the edge and top, often red or brown. This leather both reinforces it and is an ornament. At the summit, there's also often a ball and leather fringe that are decorative. The level of ornamentation can, in ceremonies, be used to indicate the social rank of the wearer, with a more elaborate hat naturally indicating a higher rank. The Fulani see the hat as an expression of their identity. It is naturally worn in ceremonies, where people wear traditional outfits and makeup, but not only there. This hat, with practical origins, is still sometimes worn in everyday life to protect oneself from the sun, all while channeling a distinct style. It has also been adopted by some African artists, like Senegalese singer Baba Maal, or members of the Ghanaian group VVIP. It is considered by some to be a fashion statement in cities like Dakar, and even be used by sports fans from countries like Senegal. Like many traditional hats, the Tengade, Tingandé, or whatever other name is used, evolved from a simple practical hat to become an important cultural element beloved by an entire people. One of the symbols of the Fulani, this unique hat is rich in history, and its decorations are imbued with tradition. It continues to be worn by members of this ethnic group throughout the Western African countries where they reside. So I hope once again you found this video interesting and will join me again soon for another hat. Until then, I tip my hat to you.